Welcome to Vedanta IS. So, as you all know, we are conducting test for Prelims 2026 and today I am going to discuss test number 25. Okay. So, without wasting time, I am directly moving towards question. The first question with reference to Indian physiography, consider the following statement. The width of the Himalayan mountain range increases from west to east. This is wrong because the width of Himalaya is increasing from east to west, okay, while the height decreases. So, the first statement is wrong. The peninsular plateau is the most ancient and stable landmass. Yes, this is correct because it is the most ancient landmass and stable landmass, primarily composed of igneous and metamorphic rock. Correct. In the plain of North India, the Bhabar region is the belt where river reappear on the surface. No, here in this region, Bhabar region, the rivers disappear. So, only second option is correct. So, the second statement is correct. So, the answer of first question is only 2. Okay. Now, the next is consider the following pair regarding the river system of India. Okay. River and tributary. Indus, Jaskar and Shyok. Yes, these are the tributaries of river. Krishna, Pranahita and Indravati. Indravati is a tributary of Godavari. Okay, it is not of Krishna. Yamuna, Chambal and Kain. So, 1 and 3 are correct. Okay, so the answer is C, 1 and 3. Now, next question number 3. In the context of the comparative study of Himalayan and peninsular river, consider the following statement. Himalayan rivers are perennial because they depend on both snow melt and rainfall. Correct. Peninsular rivers are in their mature stage of development and their path are almost fixed and straight. Yes, it is. This statement is also correct. Himalayan rivers often form meander and keep changing their course. Okay. So, all 3 statements are correct. So, the answer is 1, 2 and 3. Okay. 1, 2 and 3. So, the answer of question number 3 is D. Okay. D. Now, with reference to the soil of India, consider the following statement. Black soil is rich in iron and lime, but lack phosphorus and nitrogen. Yes. The second is laterite soil is formed in area where high temperature and heavy rainfall causes intense leaching. Yes, this is also correct. Alluvial soil cover the largest part of India's total geographical area. Correct. So, all 3 statements are correct. So, the answer will be 1, 2 and 3, that is D. Okay. Now, next is what is the role of intertropical convergence zone in the mechanism of Indian monsoon? It creates a high pressure center north of Himalayan during winter. Wrong, because during winter ITCZ is almost over Australia, it is not over Indian subcontinent. Its northward shift during summer create a low pressure through trough in the Gangetic plain which attracts the monsoon wind. Yes, it is correct. This is correct. It reduces the frequency of cyclone in the Indian Ocean, it increases the frequency. It has no direct relationship with the quantity of monsoon rainfall. Yes, it has. So, which of the following is what is the role of? So, the role is its northward shift during summer create a low pressure trough in the Gangetic plain which attracts the monsoon wind. Okay. So, the answer of 5 is B. Now, next is with reference to rain shadow areas, consider the following statement. The eastern slope of the Western Ghat is a rain shadow area because it is situated on the leeward side. Correct. The Ladakh region is an example of cold desert rain shadow area due to its location north of the Himalaya. It is also correct. Rainfall in rain shadow area is primarily of the cyclonic type. No. So, this is not statement 3rd is incorrect. Only 1 and 2 are correct. So, the answer is B, 1 and 2. Now, in the context of the drainage pattern of Indian river, the river originating from the Amarkantak hills present an example of which type of drainage system? They present the radial type of drainage system. Okay, radial type. Okay. With reference to the internal structure of the earth and recent geographical research, Consider the following statement. According to recent studies, the Earth's inner core is slowing down compared to its normal rotational speed, which can be considered the end of the super rotation state. Yes, it is correct. When seismic P waves enter the inner core from the outer core, there is a sudden increase in the velocity, confirming the solid state of the inner core. Correct. The Earth's magnetic field is entirely a result of convection current occurring in the mantle. No, it is only because of the convection current of outer core. Okay. So, here 1 and 2 are correct, not the third. So, the answer is 1 and 2. The answer of question number 8 is A. Okay. The question number 8 is A. Now, the question number 9. Consider the following pairs in the context of plate tectonic global geological event. Iceland, okay, Reykjanes Peninsula, divergent boundary, continuous volcanic activity due to the expansion of mid-Atlantic ridge and fissure eruption. Correct. Eastern Turkey, transform fault, strike slip, horizontal displacement, motion between the Anatolia and Arabian plate, causing the catastrophic earthquake of 2023. East African convergent boundary, formation of a new mountain range due to the collision between the Nubian and Somalian plate. So, the two pairs are correct. Okay. Two pairs, first and second, not the third. Divergent boundary. In the context of atmospheric circulation and climate connection, consider the following. The weakening of the polar vortex make the path of the jet stream more meandering, causing extreme cold wave in the mid-Atlantic. Okay. Yes. Question number 10. First is correct. The strengthening of the tropical atmospheric pressure circulation Walker directly indicate an El Nino. No. Whenever Walker circulation will be strong, it is going to be a good rainfall, and it is a La Nina condition, not El Nino condition. Due to Arctic amplification, the air pressure at the North Pole is increasing, causing a contraction of global wind system. Wrong. Okay. So, here only one is correct, and that is A. So, option is, answer is A. Question number answer of question number 10 is A. Now, analyzing the interrelation between ocean currents and the blue economy, consider the following statement. The weakening of the Atlantic meridional overturning circulation is likely to cause massive change in rainfall pattern in tropical region and drop in temperature in Europe. Yes, it is correct. Upwelling zones of ocean currents such as Peru coast are not only famous for fisheries, but also play a significant role in absorption of atmospheric CO2. Yes, the primary reason for the change in salinity and density of ocean current is the melting of polar ice, which is disrupting the thermohaline circulation. Yes, so for 11, all are correct. All options are, all statements are correct. So, the option will be C will be the answer of question number 11. Now, with reference to the rock system and economic geography of India, consider the following statement. 98% of India's coal reserve are found in Gondwana rock, which are primarily of the bituminous type and fall into the non-cooking category. Correct. The Dharwar rock system consists of India's oldest metamorphic rock rich in metallic minerals. Correct. The Vindhyan sequence rock are famous for building material. Yes, it is correct. And diamond production, but fossils are completely absent in them. Now, this statement is not correct. Abundant fossils are found in Vindhyan range. Okay. First is correct. The Vindhyan sequence rocks are famous for building material. Yes, correct. And diamond. Yes, it is also correct. But fossil fuels, they are also rich in fossil fuel. So, this is incorrect. So, statement number 1 and 2 are correct. So, the answer of question number 12 is 1 and 2, A. Consider the following statement. The recent drop in the water level of the Caspian Sea is primarily due to dam built on the Volga river located to its north and excessive evaporation caused by climate change. Okay. So, yes, this is correct. A very huge dam has been constructed on Volga river, and Volga is the longest river of Europe. huge amount of water it carried in the Caspian Sea. The primary reason for the obstruction in the operation of Panama Canal is the rise in sea level, causing salt water to enter the canal lock system. Yes, it is also correct. Okay, enter the canal lock system. Unlike our RLC, Lake Chad is not an example of a completely endorheic drainage. Lake Chad is not an example of completely, yes, it is a completely endorheic drainage because its water flow underground towards the Bodella depression. It is incorrect. So, one and sorry. It is indirect. It is correct. Unlike the RLC, Lake Chad is not an example of a completely endorheic drainage because its water flow underground towards the Bodella depression. Yes, this is correct. So, third is correct. Second is not correct. Primary reason for the obstruction in the operation of the Panama Canal is the rise in sea level, causing salt water to enter the canal's lock system. So, this is not correct. So, 13 answer is B. Okay, B 1 and 3. Only 1 and 3. Unlike RLC, Lake Chad is not an example of the completely endorheic drainage because the water of this Lake Chad, Cameroon, Niger, Nigeria and Chad, these are the 4 countries that surrounds Lake Chad. Okay. And the water of this pairs in the context of global spatial pattern and desert region. Okay. So, Sahel region, it is a transition zone between the Sahara Desert and the Savannah where efforts are being made to stop desertification under the Great Green Wall project. Yes, this in Sahara region we received the very less amount of rainfall. Okay, it starts from Western Sahara, Western African nation to almost Eritrea. Negev desert, this region of Israel has been in the news due to its advanced arid land farming and recent regional conflict. Yes, also correct. Atacama desert is the world's driest desert where ecological imbalance has recently been observed due to rare earth element and lithium mining. Yes, all these 3 areas and their characteristics. Okay, the characteristics, all these 3 statements are correct. So, the answer of the 14 is C. Now, with reference to international river system and their geomorphic impact, consider the following statement. The Mekong River, after originating from the Tibetan Plateau, passes through 5 countries of Southeast Asia, but it does not share an international boundary with any country. Okay. So, question number 15. Okay. No, Mekong River forms boundary between many countries. The Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam is located on the White Nile, a major tributary of the Nile River, and is considered a major threat to Egypt's water security. Wrong. Under the Indus Water Treaty 1916, India has unrestricted control over the eastern rivers Ravi, Vyas and Satluj, while it has only limited runoff the river uses right over the western river Indus, Jhelum and Chenab. Correct. So, only the 3 statement is correct, first and second are not correct. Okay. So, the answer of question number 15 is B. Now, with reference to the Olive Ridley Turtles and the Wildlife Protection Act 1972, consider the following statement. Okay. Question number 16. Olive Ridley turtles are protected under Schedule 1st of the Wildlife Protection Act 1972, which provide them with the same level of legal protection as tiger. Yes, correct. The Gahirmatha and Rishakulya coasts of Odisha are famous for Arbida mass nesting, where light pollution has recently been identified as a major threat to their pollution. Yes, correct. Both are number 1 and 2 are correct. Okay. These turtles are found only in the tropical water of the Indian Ocean and do not have a distribution in other ocean. No, it is found in other ocean also. So the even in Atlantic Ocean they are found. So first and second are correct, not the third. Okay, so the answer is A. Now consider the following pairs regarding the wetlands of India and the Ramsar classification based on discussion in 2025. Ansupa Lake, Odisha, freshwater horseshoe shaped lake. Okay, Yashwant Sagar, Madhya Pradesh, important habitat of the Sarus crane in central India, and Karikili bird sanctuary, Tamil Nadu, water bird breeding site and discussed due to recent ecological restoration. Okay, so the answer of 17 is C. All pairs are correct. Okay, all pair of question number 7 are correct. 17 are correct. So the answer is C. Now, analyzing the following statement in the context of the geo-ecological impact of unregulated mining and deforestation in the Himalayan region. The primary reason for slope instability, instability in the young mountain range of Himalaya is the cutting of the base of mountain by mining activities. Okay, yes, this is also correct. 18, question number 18, first is correct. Deforestation in the Himalayan leads to a decrease in evapotranspiration, which causes thermal inversion, responsible for local level cloudburst event. No, this is not correct. Violation of safety norms and the use of heavy machinery in sensitive zones during the recent Char Dham projects have been considered factors for land subsidence event in like Josimath. Yes, this is correct. So the second and third are correct. Okay, not second. First and third are correct, not the second. So the question number 18 is B. Okay. Now, with reference to the Kunming-Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework and Environmental Conference of 2025, consider the following statement. The objective of the 30 by 30 target is to bring at least 30% of the earth land and 30% of the ocean under protected area by the year 2030. Yes, this is correct. The Nature Restoration Fund discussed in 2025 has been created by developed countries to provide financial assistance to developing countries to compensate for biodiversity loss. This is also correct. Under this framework, a target has been set to reduce the rate of spread of invasive alien species by at least 50%. Yes, all statements are correct. So the answer is all three. C is the answer. With reference to illegal mining and ecological corridor in the Aravalli mountain range, consider the following statement. Okay. The Aravalli hills act as a natural barrier, okay, to prevent the eastward expansion of the Thar desert. Correct. The Supreme Court has recently banned permanent concrete construction in the unclassified forest of the Aravalli in the name of safari park and ecotourism. Also correct. The erosion of the Aravalli hills help in reducing the intensity of dust storm in the North India. No, it will increase the dust storm. So first and second are correct, not the third. Now consider the following in the context of the international environmental treaties and recent technological development 2025. The objective of the Beyond Oil and Gas Alliance is to reduce fossil fuel production. This statement is correct. The Global Plastic Treaty is the first legally binding international treaty to regulate the full production cycle of plastic from beginning to end. Yes, this is also correct. The Minamata Convention is primarily related to the control of marine salinity. No, mercury. Okay, the increase of concentration of mercury in mercury. So this is not correct. So the 1 and 2 are correct, not the third. Now, with reference to the philosophical and structural development of Indian temple architecture, consider the following. The Panchayatan layout in Nagara style temples reflect not just the prominence of the main deity but the hierarchy of the cosmic order. Yes, this is also correct. So, the first statement is correct. The size and grandeur of Gopuram in Dravidian style reached its apex during the Vijayanagar period, where they became even taller and more impressive than the main tower of the temple. Yes, this is also correct. This statement is correct. In the Vesara style, which is blend of north and south style, the presence of Antrala is mandatory, distinguishing it from the pure Nagara style. Yes, so all three are correct. 1, 2 and 3 are correct. Okay. So the answer is D. Analyze the following statement by understanding the essence of Buddhist stupa, architecture and symbolism. Okay. The three chhatras located in the EST of the Buddha symbolize the three main events of Buddha's life: birth, enlightenment and Mahaparinirvana. No. The depiction of Jataka tale on the torrents of stupas number 1 at Sanchi is done through symbols such as the vacant throne footprints instead of human form. Yes, correct. The purpose of Vedika surrounding the Anda is not just physical protection but to mark the boundary between the mundane world and the spiritual realm. Yes. So 2 and 3 are correct, not the first. So the answer is B. Okay, only 2 statements are correct. Question number 24. In the context of cave architecture and murals, consider the following comparative analysis of Ajanta and Ellora. The fresco technique of painting was used in Ajanta caves, where minerals color were applied on wet plaster, while the painting of Ellora are entirely based on the tempera method. The depiction of Padma Pani and Vajra Pani Bodhisattvas in Ajanta painting encapsulate the principle of comparison of and power of Mahayana Buddhism. Yes, Ellora cave are an excellent example of secularism, where the coexistence of Hinduism, Buddhism and Jainism are seen in the same period. So all 24. Look, the first is not correct, because while the painting of Ellora are entirely based on tempera, no, it is also fresco. So only 2 and 3 are correct, not the first. Okay. Now, with the reference of classical literature and philosophy considered the profound characteristics of Buddhist and Jain text. The philosophical principle of Ekantavada and Syadavada are the core foundation of Jain Agama literature, emphasizing the plurality and relativity of truth. Yes, correct. The dialogue between Nagasena and the Indo-Greek king Menander is Menander in the Buddhist text Milinpanho is not just religious preaching but a documentation of Indo-Greek cultural synthesis. Therigatha, which is a part of the Tripitaka, is the oldest available literature shedding light on the spiritual experience of women and their social status in ancient India. So 25 D is the answer. 1, 2, 3. Therigatha, which is a part of Pitaka, is the oldest available literature shedding light on the spiritual experience of women and their status. So all 3 are correct. Now, with reference to the experimental aspect of Indian classical dance form and music, consider the following statement. Okay. The concept of Ekacharya in Bharatanatyam means that a single dancer plays the role of multiple characteristics during a performance. In Hinduism classic music, Thumri is considered semi-classical because expression of emotion, Thumri, expression of emotions and Sringara Ras are given more preferences over the purity of raga. Yes, both the Melakarta system of Carnatic music and a third system of Hindustani music categorize ragas based on the same 10 notes. Yes, 2 and 3, only 2 statements are correct. B is the correct answer. Now, consider the recent scenario 25-26 regarding UNESCO World Heritage Site and India's cultural diplomacy. Okay. Question number 27 is recent UNESCO nomination from India included the sacred ensembles of the Hoysala, which are unique for their stellate plan and intricate carving in chlorite schist, correct. For a site to be included in the UNESCO list, it is must have outstanding universal value, which may not be limited to architecture but can also be linked to intangible tradition. The inclusion of Santiniketan in the UNESCO list is an effort to provide global recognition to the Indian paradigm of modernity and nature-centric education. So all three are correct. So 27 answer is D. Now, with reference to the essence of double government system established by the British rule through the Pitt's India Act, consider the following statement. This act, while separating the commercial and political responsibility of the company, gave the Board of Control the power to fully supervise and control all civil, military and revenue related activities in India. It clearly declared that the first time that the territories under the East India Company in India are British possession, establishing the supremacy of the British Crown in place of the company's sovereignty, correct. The act reduces the number of members of the Governor General Council to strengthen decisive power and enable quick decision making in administration. Yes, so the number of Governor General Council was reduced from 4 to 3. Okay, so all are correct. So the answer is 3. Answer is C. All 3 are correct. Now, analyze the following statement regarding the revolutionary change brought up by the Charter Act 1833. This act not only centralized political powers by making the Governor General of Bengal the Governor General of India, but also established the peak of legislative concentration by completely abolishing the legislative power of the Governor of Bengal, Bombay and Madras. Yes, correct. Section 87 of the Act propounded the principle of public employment based on merit, aimed at ending discrimination based on religion, place of birth or descent. Yes, also correct. It included a 4th member of the Governor General Council as a law member who had fully voting rights. Yes, so all 3 are correct. Question number 29, answer is D. Wait. It included a 4th member in the Governor General Council as a law member who had full voting rights. No voting rights. So option number 3 is incorrect. So only 2, first and second are correct, not the third. With the reference to the methodology adopted by Mahatma Gandhi during the Ahmedabad mill strike 1918 and its far-reaching impact, consider the following statement. Gandhiji proposed the concept of arbitration to resolve the conflict between workers and mill owner, which he saw as a permanent solution to class conflict. Yes. During this strike, Gandhi inspired the workers to take a pledge, okay, which made it mandatory not to accept any kind of arms or charity during the strike period and to conduct peaceful sit-ins in the mills. The conflict ended with the mill owners immediately accepting the workers' demand for 35% bonus, which cleared the legal path for the formation of the Ahmedabad Labour Association. Not that 35% was not accepted, so only 2 pairs are correct, first and second. Okay. Now, question number 31. With reference to the historical session of the Indian National Congress and the legal political resolution adopted in them, consider the following. Calcutta session, for the first time the word Swaraj was accepted as the national goal and resolution of Swadeshi and boycott were passed. Yes. Lucknow session, reunification of the moderates and extremists of the Congress and legal acceptance of the demand for separate electorate with Muslim League, correct. Nagpur session 1929, change in the Congress constitutions to set the goal of peaceful and legitimate means instead of constitutional means, correct. Lahore session, resolution of Purna Swaraj passed and the decision taken to celebrate 26 January as Independence Day. Yes, all 4 are correct. So 31st answer is D. All 4 pairs are correct. Question number 32. Okay. With reference to Chittagong Armory raid 1930 and the revolutionary activities associated with it, considered the following statement: the Indian Republican Army established by Surya Sen planned to simultaneously capture 2 armories and disrupt the communication system on the lines of the Irish Easter Rising. Correct. Pratilata Vadedar led the attack on the Paharitali European Club, outside which an insulting board was placed reserved for whites, entry forbidden for dogs and Indians. Kalpana Dutt worked actively with Surya Sena and was sentenced to a long-term prison term during the trial following Surya Sena arrest. So yes, all 3 are correct. 32, answer is C. Consider the following statement regarding the spread of revolt of 1857, participation in it, and the repressive legal military apparatus. During the revolt, Governor General Lord Canning established emergency headquarters in Allahabad, and the British government implemented martial law to crush the revolt, granting unlimited power to military officers to punish Indians without any legal process. Okay. Yes, it is correct. From during this revolt from Calcutta to Allahabad, emergency headquarters, while the Talukdar of Awadh and the peasant of Rohilkhanda participated extensively in the revolt, the rulers of Patiala, Jind and Gwalior not only distanced themselves from the revolt but also actively provided logistical and military assistance to the British Army. Correct. During the suppression of the revolt, General Neil ended rebellion activities in Banaras and Allahabad, while Sir Colin Campbell established British control again in Lucknow and Kanpur. All statements are correct, so the answer is C. 33. With reference to the transformation in social structure during the Rigvedic and later Vedic period, consider the following. In the Rigvedic period, Varna was determined primarily on the basis of racial differences, whereas the later Vedic period it became a completely birth-based hereditary category, ending social mobility. First statement is correct because it was not based on racial differentiation, it was based on economic activities in which they were engaged. Okay. Participation of women in institutions like Sabha and Vidatha in Rigveda society reflected their high political status, but they were deprived of these public councils in the later Vedic period. Correct. Legal acceptance of the Nyoga practice and widow remarriage in the Rigvedic period was evidence of the liberal nature of the society, which became restricted with the rise of Gotra system in the later Vedic system. Yes, because we have some example of widow remarriage, but it was not legally accepted, but almost all 3 are correct. Okay. So, no, first is not correct, only 2 pairs are correct, only 2. Okay. So, answer of 34 is B. Answer of 34 is B. Now, question number 35. Analyze the following statement regarding the objective of organizing Buddhist Council and their legal literacy outcome. Second Buddhist Council, Vaisali, is its main dispute was regarding the 10 points in the rules of Vinaya, which resulted in the Buddhist Sangha split into 2 initial groups called Stharavada and Mahasangika. Correct. Third Buddhist Council, Patliputra. In this council, the Abhidhamma Pitaka was compiled by adding philosophical interpretation to the Buddhist teaching, and legal provision for harsh punishment were made to remove differences within the Sangha. Fourth Buddhist Council, this council became an official point of the rise of Mahayana Buddhism, where Sanskrit was adopted as the main language of religious discourse, and commentary texts like Vibhasa Sutra were composed. Yes. So, for 35 all answers are correct, all statements are correct. So, the answer is C. 35 is C. Now, with reference to the nature of women reform movement of the 19th and 20th century, and their institutional development, consider the following statement. The primary objective of early male social reformers such as Raja Ram Mohan Roy and Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar was not the complete evolution of the patriarchal social structure, but the purification of religious traditions on the basis of humanistic logic. Correct. Arya Mahila Samaj, established by Pandita Ramabai, changed the paradigm of reforms and established women as an agent of reforms rather than just the subject matter of reforms. Correct. The All India Women Conference established in 1927 shifted the focus of reforms from social consequences to legal rights, which played a decisive role in getting the Child Marriage Restraint Act 1929 Sardak passed. Okay. So, the question number 36, all options, all statements are correct. Okay. All pair are correct. Now, with reference to the background, events and political legal consequences of the Battle of Plassey, okay, consider the following statement. The immediate cause of the war was the violation of terms of Treaty of Alinagar by Nawab Siraj-Dowla and providing refugee to the French in Chandranagar. Under the political agreement following this war, Mir Jafar was made the Nawab of Bengal and the company formally received Diwani rights in Bengal, Bihar and Odisha. Okay. As a legal consequences of the Battle of Plassey, full sovereign control of British was established over Calcutta and the company received the right to mint its own currency. Look, question number 3rd is not correct. Statement 3rd is not correct because full sovereign control of the British was established over Calcutta. No, this is not correct. 1 and 2, only 2 pairs are correct, first and second. Consider the following statement regarding the provision of the Treaty of Bassein, 31st December 1802 and its strategic legal implication. Through this treaty, Peshwa Baji Rao II accepted the British subsidiary alliance, yes, under which the deployment of permanent British regiment in Pune and the complete surrender of foreign relations by the Peshwa were mandatory. Yes. According to the terms of the treaty, the Peshwa renounced his claim on the city of Surat and gave legal consent to hand over strategic areas between the Tungabhadra and Namda river to the Britishers. Correct. The Treaty of Bassein was seen as an insult of Maratha sovereignty by the other members of the Maratha Confederacy, especially Sindhya and Bhosle, which ultimately become the immediate cause for the yes. All 3 are correct. So, 38, all 3 statements are correct. The answer is C. With reference to the administrative structure, architecture and socio-economic policies of the Vijayanagar Empire, consider the following. Under the Nayakara system, under the Nayakar system, Nayakas were provided with land areas called Amaram, the legal ownership of which remained with the king, but the Nayaka were responsible for revenue collections from there and the maintenance of certain military consignment contingent. In the architecture of Vijayanagar, the development of Kalyana Mandapa and Amana Sanadhi was a distinct feature which became a medium for religious rituals as well as the display of state grandeur. Correct. The ruler of Vijayanagar developed a complex water management system by constructing dams like Hospet on the Tungabhadra river and the Hiria canal, aimed not only in expanding agriculture but also making the capital self-reliant from security purpose. Yes, so 39 C is the correct answer. Consider the following pairs regarding foreign travelers to India and their contemporary rulers. Ibn Battuta, Muhammad bin Tughlaq, correct. Marco Polo, Rudradama Devi, yes, correct. Abdul Razak, Devarai II, Francois Bernier, Aurangzeb. Look, 40, all pairs are correct. Bernier visited during the time of Aurangzeb, Abdul Razak, Devarai II, Marco Polo, Rudradama Devi. Okay. Now, in the legal technical context of satellite communication and India's new space policy, consider the following statement. Okay. Satellite constellation established in low Earth orbit provide lower latency compared to geosynchronous satellite, which are strategically important for the expansion of 5G and Internet of Things in remote areas of India. Correct. India's new space policy allowed private entities to perform end-to-end space activities, but the legal rights of spectrum allocation is full reserved only with the Department of Space. Correct. High throughput satellite like GSAT-20, also called GSAT-N2, specifically aim to strengthen in-flight connectivity and maritime communication. Yes, all three pairs are correct, all three statements are correct, so the answer is C. Now, consider the essence of cryogenic engines and India's heavy satellite launch capability. The cryogenic stage uses liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen, which storing hydrogen at approximately minus 253 degrees Celsius is an extremely complex thermodynamics challenge. Yes, it is correct. The CE-20 engine, which is a part of LVM-3, operates on the gas generator cycle, which provide it with a higher thrust to weight ratio compared to older engine with the stage combustion cycle. Correct. India's cryogenic upper stage is specifically mandatory for placing communication satellites into the geochronous transfer orbit. Correct. So all three are correct. So the answer of question number 42 is C. Consider the following statement following regarding the application of remote sensing and legal data sovereignty. The Indian Remote Sensing IRS satellite series operates in sun synchronous orbit so that data of circular area can be obtained under constant solar illumination condition. Okay. Yes, correct. Remote sensing data is used in precision agriculture for assessment of crop health through the vegetation index, which is the basis of settlement of legal claims under the PM Fasal Bima Yojana. Hyperspectral imaging technology used in satellite like Cartosat-3 is capable of minute identification of soil nutrients and minerals, which is not possible with normal multi-spectral sensor. Correct. All three are correct. So question number 43, all are correct. Consider the strategic autonomy of global navigation system and India's NAVIC C, IRNS C. Okay. NAVIC operates on two frequencies, L5 and S band, which gives it the ability to automatically correct ionospheric delay, making it more accurate than the signal frequency civilian signals of GPS. Yes, unlike GPS, NAVIC is a regional system with a constellation of 7 satellites, out of which 3 satellites are in geostationary and 4 satellites are in geosynchronous orbit. Correct. The restricted service signal of NAVIC is used specifically for missile guidance and tactical communication, ending dependence on foreign navigation system. Correct. All three pairs are correct. All three statements are correct. So the question number 44, C is the correct answer. Analyze the following statement regarding the development and legal application of INSET GSET system. Through tele-education and telemedicine network, ISRO has established its soft power in socio-economic development, which is a large legal part of Indian digital inclusion goal. Okay, correct. The use of INSET satellite in fisherman warning system and search and rescue service for disaster management is an integral part of India's maritime security diplomacy. Correct. So 1 and 2 both are correct. Okay. 45. Question number 46. Consider the strategic dimension of ISRO's soft power and space diplomacy. The launch of South Asian satellite is a part of India's neighborhood first policy, under which data for communication and disaster management service is shared with neighboring countries except Pakistan without any legal fees. Correct. The commercial launch of foreign satellite through NSIL has established India as a cost-effective space power, which is the main factor in increasing India's share in global space economy. Okay. So question number 46, both pair is correct, both statements are correct. So 1 and 2 C is the answer. Consider the subtle aspect of Gaganyaan and India's further space exploration policy. Under the Gaganyaan mission, the crew module is to be established in a low Earth orbit of 400 km, for which the successful testing of the indigenous life support system and crew escape system is a mandatory legal safety standard. Okay. Yes, correct. Vyomitra is a half humanoid robot being sent before the manned mission to check the efficiency of microgravity and life support system. The success of Gaganyaan will make India the 4th country in the world to indigenously send humans into space after the USA, Russia and China. Yes, all three statements are correct. So the answer is C. Now, with the reference to the cell biology, consider the following roles of cell organelles. Lysosome contains powerful hydrolytic enzymes that are active under acidic pH conditions and digest extracellular debris as well as damaged cell organelles. Mitochondria possess their own genetic materials and ribosome, enabling them to synthesize some proteins themselves, which is referred to as their semi-autonomous nature. Yes, 48. The main function of the Golgi apparatus is the packaging of proteins synthesized by the endoplasmic reticulum and tagging them to reach their final destination. Correct. So all three are correct. 1, 2, 3. Okay. C is the answer. Consider the legal and biological effects of plant biology and plant hormones. Auxin is primarily synthesized in the apex of the plant and is responsible for apical dominance, which inhibits the growth of lateral buds. Okay. Correct. Abscisic acid is called the stress hormone because it helps in the closing stomata during water scarcity and increasing seed dormancy. Correct. Ethylene is the only gaseous plant hormone that accelerates the process of fruit ripening and promote sensuousness in plants. Yes, correct. All three are correct. Now, so match the following pairs in the context of human nutrition and disorder caused by vitamin deficiency. Vitamin 12, B12 is B12 cobalamin is basically pernicious anemia and neurological defect. Okay. Vitamin B3 niacin, pellagra, skin disease. Vitamin D, osteomalacia, softening bones. Yes, correct. Vitamin K, delay in blood clotting. So for question number D, For question number 50, all 4 pairs are correct. Okay. Now, consider the practical use of myopia and spectacle lens. A person suffering from myopia can see nearby object clearly, but distant object appears blurred because light rays converge before reaching the retina. Okay. Yes, this is correct. To correct this defect, concave lens is used in the spectacles which diverge the rays slightly so that they fall directly on the retina. If a child's spectacle power is -2.5D diopter, it means they suffer from myopia and their lens is concave. Yes, because it is in minus. With reference to the Internet of Things and everyday smart technology, consider the following statement. IoT based street light have sensors that identify darkness as soon as the sun sets to turn the light on automatically and turn it off at dawn. Yes, Li-Fi technology uses the light from LED bulbs instead of radio waves to run the internet, which is much faster than Wi-Fi. Correct. IoT sensors can measure soil moisture to decide when to water plant, thereby saving water. Correct. So 52, all 3 pairs are correct. Consider the technical ecosystem of visible light, communication and the Internet of Things. Li-Fi technology, which is a type of VLC, uses a frequency of 400 to 800 THz, terahertz. Then to transmit data, providing it with more bandwidth than traditional Wi-Fi. This technology used for communication in LOT. Okay. LOT devices is resistant to electromagnetic interference, making it ideal for sensitive areas like aircraft cabins and hospitals. Correct. Li-Fi communication is possible only in line of sight condition, as light rays cannot penetrate walls like radio waves. Correct. So all 3 pairs, all statements are correct. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now, consider the following statement regarding the legal principle and current relevance of the Outer Space Treaty. This treaty completely prohibits claims of sovereignty of natural appropriation of outer space, the moon and other celestial body by any nation. Correct. The OST prohibits nation from placing weapons of mass destruction in Earth orbit, but it is explicitly silent on the use of deployment of conventional weapon. Correct. According to the treaty, if a private entity such as SpaceX causes any damage in space, the international responsibility for it will lie with the nation that launches that entity. Correct. So all 3 statements are correct. So answer is C. Now consider the following pairs in the context of space diplomacy and the international legal framework. Okay. Rescue agreement, assistance to astronauts in disaster and their safe return, liability convention, absolutely liability on the launching state for damaging caused by space debris on satellite. Correct. Moon agreement, declaring the resource of the moon as the common heritage of mankind. Artemis Accords, a legally binding UN treaty for civil exploration on the moon. This is not correct. So all only 3 pairs are correct. With reference to the power of Parliament under the Article 2 and 3, consider the following. Okay. Under a bill to change the name of boundary or any state under Article 3 cannot be introduced in Parliament without the prior recommendation of the President. Yes, the consent of the concerned state legislature is mandatory and binding for any change. No. Amendments made under Article 2 and 3 are not considered constitutional amendments within the meaning of Article 368. Correct. So only two, first and third are correct. Not first, 2 and 3 are correct. Okay. First and third are correct. Not the only two pairs are only two are correct. 56. Now 57. Consider the legal expansion of religious freedom. Okay. Article 225 and 28. Under 25, the right to propagate religion includes the fundamental rights to convert other person to one's own religion. Fundamental rights to convert. Okay. 57 is we have no fundamental rights to convert other persons to own religion. Okay. Under Article 26, the right of religious denomination to manage their property is subject to public order, morality, and health. And correct. The third is the state prohibits providing religious instruction in any educational institutions maintained wholly out of state fund. Yes. So 2 and 3 are correct, not the first. Consider the conflict between fundamental rights and state directive principle of policy. In the Champakam Dorai Rajan case, the Supreme Court ruled that fundamental rights are paramount and the directive principle of state policy are subordinate to them. Yes, correct. The Minerva Bill case established that the bedrock of the constitution rests on the balance and the harmony between fundamental rights and the directive principle of state policy. Correct. So first and second both are correct. 59. Analyze the following statement regarding the office and election of the Vice President. The Electoral College of the Vice President includes both elected and nominated member of Parliament, but not member of the state legislative assemblies. Correct. A resolution to remove the Vice President can only be introduced in the Rajya Sabha and require an effective majority in the Rajya Sabha. So 59, both 1 and 2 are correct. Consider the jurisdictions of Election Commission of India. The Election Commission of India is responsible only for the election to the Parliament, State Legislative and the office of the President and Vice President. Correct. The superintendent's direction and control of election to Panchayat and municipalities are with the state legislation. Yes. The Election Commission possesses punitive legal power to ensure internal democracy within political parties. Okay. For 60, it is B, not C. Only 2 pairs are correct, first and second, not the third. With reference to the power of the Supreme Court, consider the following. Article 152 provides the Supreme Court with the extraordinary power to pass a decree or order to do complete justice in any case pending before it. Okay. So 61. Yes, the advisory jurisdiction of the Supreme Court is binding on the President, not binding. So 2 is incorrect. The Supreme Court has the power to review its own previous judgment and departs from them. Yes. So only first and third are correct. So the answer is 2. Consider the jurisdiction of local government and Nyay Panchayat. Nyay Panchayat are the part of the Panchayati Raj system which ensure speedy justice in minor civil and criminal cases. Okay. Yes. The member of the Nyay Panchayat are directly elected by the Gram Sabha. No. Nyay Panchayat do not have the right to award imprisonment. They can only impose fine. Yes. Now residual power from Canada, procedural established by law, Japan, concurrent list, Australia, nomination of member of Rajya Sabha, Constitution of Ireland. Okay. So 63. All 4 pairs are correct. Okay. We have taken the residual power from Canada, procedure of establishment by law from Constitution of Japan, concurrent list Australia, and nomination of Rajya Sabha Constitution of Ireland. Now consider the following in the context of established political system. The Indian polity is based on the principle of constitutional supremacy and not on the parliamentary sovereignty. Indian polity is based on the principle of constitutional supremacy. Yes, 64. Not on the parliamentary sovereignty. In India, the executive is responsible to the legislature, which is an essential feature of the parliamentary democracy. Correct. So C is the correct answer both. Okay. 64 answer is C. Now consider the expanded meaning of Article 21. After the Menka Gandhi case 1978, Article 21 is provide protection not only against the arbitrary action of the executive but also against the arbitrariness of the legislature. Okay. Procedure established by law is now applicable to the same sense is a due process of law. The right to privacy is an inherent fundamental rights under Article 21. Okay. So 65 C is the answer. All are correct. With the reference to the national emergency, Article 352 and armed rebellion, consider the following. The term internal disturbance was replaced by armed rebellion by the 44th Amendment. Yes, correct. The enforcement of Article 20 and 21 cannot be suspended even by the President during the national emergency. Correct. The proclamation of emergency must be approved by both House of Parliament by a simple majority. Okay. 66 not by simple majority. 66 only 1 and 2 are correct. Okay. A special majority is required. Consider the limits of constitutional amendment. Article 368. Parliament can amend any part of the constitution except the basic structure. Correct. In the case of constitutional amendment bill, the President does not have veto power. It is mandatory for them to go assent. Yes, there is a provision for joint sitting in case of deadlock over constitutional amendment. No. So only two, first and second, are correct. Okay. So 67B is the correct answer. Now consider the following jurisdiction and constitutional right on the governor. The discretionary power of the governor are more extensive than those of President. Correct. Under Article 200, the governor can reserve a bill for the constitution of the President if it endanger the position of the High Court. Correct. The governor has the discretionary rights to grant a pardon to someone against the advice of the Council of Ministers. Okay. So for 68, 1 and 2 are correct, not the third. Consider the chronological order of the major committees formed on Panchayati Raj. Balwant Rai Mehta, yes, first committee, then Ashok Mehta, correct, then V.K. Rao committee, correct, L.M. Singhvi committee, yes. 1, 2, 3, 4 is the correct answer. 69A is the answer. Okay. Now 70, question number 70. With reference to the nature of Indian federalism, consider the following. The Indian polity is quasi-federal, where the title of power is centripetal in favor of the center. Correct. Any unilateral amendments to the 7th schedule is prohibited for the ratification by the half of the state, along with a special majority of parliament is mandatory. Okay. Correct. According to the S.R. Bomai case, federalism is a part of the basic structure of the constitution and the state are not mere agent of the center. Correct. All three are correct, so the D is the answer. With reference to the development of judicial interpretation of the basic structure of the constitution, consider the following. The doctrine of basic structure was propounded in the Keswanand Bharti case 73, which sets the limits that the amendment power of the parliament under Article 368 is not unlimited. Correct. In the Minerva Mill case, the Supreme Court clarified that the limited power of Parliament to amend any part of the Constitution is itself a part of basic structure. The Supreme Court clarified that the limited power of Parliament to amend any part of the Constitution is itself a part of the basic structure. Yes. The secular declaration of the Constitution and judicial review are recognized as an essential element of basic structure. Correct. So 71, all three statements are correct. So the answer is C. Analyze the following statement regarding the constitutional and legal provision of the citizenship in India. Part 2nd of the Constitution identified categories of persons who became citizen only on January 26, January 1950 rather than a Permanent Citizenship Act. Correct. Parliament has the exclusive rights power to make laws regarding the acquisition and termination of citizenship, which can be exercised even without a formal amendment under Article 368. The Constitution of India prohibits dual citizenship and places single citizenship under the union list over which the state legislature have no authorities. Correct. 72, all are correct. D is the answer. Now 73, consider the historical and legal application of the 24th Constitutional Amendment. This amendment clarified that the word law under Article 33 does not include a constitutional amendment made under Article 368, thereby giving Parliament the power to take any fundamental rights. Correct. It made it mandatory for the President to give his assent to the Constitutional Amendment Bill. Correct. This amendment was primarily brought to neutralize the effect of the judgment given by the Supreme Court in the Golaknath case. Yes. 73, all statements are correct. So answer is C. With reference to the 5th Constitutional Amendment Act 19 and Article 31C, consider the following. Article 31C added by the 25th Amendment provided that law-giving efforts to Article 39B and 39C cannot be challenged on the basis of violation of Article 14 and 19. Correct. This amendment replaced the word compensation given in exchange for the right to property with the word amount to reduce judicial interference. Correct. Okay. And in the Keswanand Bharti case, the Supreme Court declared that provision of Article 31C as unconstitutional, which prohibits the judicial review of such law. Correct. So all three are correct. With the reference to the reforms in the regulatory framework of the payment and settlement system, consider the following statement. The proposed payment regulatory board will replace the current board of regulation and supervision of payment and settlement system within the Reserve Bank of India. Correct. The composition of this board will include a total of 6 members to be chaired by the Governor of the Reserve Bank of India. Correct. According to the legal provision, it will be mandatory for this board to hold at least 2 or more meetings in a year to ensure continuous monitoring and effective function of payment system. Wrong. So only first and second are correct. Okay. Now, with reference to the regulatory framework of non-banking financial corporation companies and the finance in the industry development FIDC, recently recognized by the RBI, consider the following. FIDC is primarily a representative self-regulatory organization of NBFCs engaged in assets financing, which has recently been granted formal recognition by RBI. Correct. The primary objective of this council is to develop a uniform code of conduct for NBFC sector and to act as a bridge between small NBFCs and the RBI. Correct. FIDC possesses the direct regulatory power to cancel the legal license of its member institution. Wrong. So only first and second are correct, not the all. With reference to the security of digital payment and the new guidelines of the Reserve Bank of India RBI regarding additional factor of authentication, consider the following statement. The RBI new framework is technology neutral, allowing bank to adopt modern authentication factors such as biometrics and token in place of only SMS based OTP. Okay. Correct. Under the new rules, customers will have to undergo risk-based authentication during digital transaction, where additional layers of security will be mandatory for high-value transaction. Correct. The main objective of these new legal provision for authentication is to regulate only mobile banking transaction, while card-based physical transactions are outside its scope. Wrong. So first and second are correct, not the third. With reference to digital currency and the recent stance of the Reserve Bank of India, consider the following statement. According to the RBI, stable coins may pose risk to effective monetary policy transmission and financial stability, especially if they are linked to foreign currencies. Correct. The RBI has promoted e-rupee as a safe alternative to stable coins, as it's directly liability of the central bank and it's backed by sovereign guarantee. Correct. The circulation of central bank digital currency is likely to reduce the velocity of money in the economy, thereby increasing the legal cost of digital transaction. Yes, 2 or 3 are correct. Only 2 are correct. With reference to the digital economy and cryptocurrencies, consider the following statement regarding stable coin. Stable coins are a type of cryptocurrency whose values is pegged to another asset such as fiat currency, gold or other commodity to reduce price volatility. Correct. Algorithms stable coin use complex software, codes and smart contracts to stabilize their value instead of reserve of physical assets. Correct. Stable coins are primarily used in the decentralized finance ecosystem to provide liquidity and as a stable medium for digital transaction. So 79, all are correct, all 3 statements are correct. With reference to the inflation targeting in India and the regulatory position of the RBI, consider the following statement. The inflation target in India, currently 4 plus minus 2, is determined by the central government in consultation with the Reserve Bank of India once every 5 years. Correct. The current period of inflation targeting in India is 2021-26, is set to end on 31st March. Correct. Will have to notify. Under the inflation targeting cycle, if the average inflation remains outside the prescribed limit 2 to 6 for 3 consecutive quarters, it is considered as a failure of monetary policy. Correct. All 3 statements are correct. 81. With reference to the Indian capital market and recent regulatory change, consider the following. IPO is a process through which an unlisted company issue share to the public for the first time. Correct. While an FPO, previously listed company, issue additional share to raise capital. Yes, correct. SEBI has recently reduced the legal value of lot size to increase the participation of retail investors, making entry into the primary market accessible for low income investors. Correct. Low income investor means investing less than 2 lakh rupees. Okay. With the quota of non-institutional investors NII, SEBI has now made subcategories for a small NII and big NII mandatory to ensure greater transparency in the allotment process. Correct. So 1, 2 and 3, all 3 statements are correct. So 81, C is the answer. With reference to the new RBI rules for financial companies, NBFCs and banks, consider the following statement. RBI has divided NBFC into 4 layers based on their size and operational risk to maintain a strict vigil on large company. Correct. In view of the rising threat of unsecured personal loans, the RBI has increased the risk weight for the bank, making such loans more expensive to provide. Yes. Okay. In the case of digital loans, the money must now go directly from the bank to the customer's account. It should not pass through the account of any third party app. Correct. All 3 are correct. 83. With reference to the recent regulatory reforms of the Employee Provident Fund Organization 2025-26 and the new rules for fund withdrawal, consider the following. EPPFO has increased the limit of auto settlement for advance without withdrawal from rupee 1 lakh to rupees 5 lakh, which can be processed within 72 hours without human intervention. Correct. According to the new rules, the ensure future social security, it is mandatory for members to maintain a minimum of 25% of their total corpus in the account, which cannot be withdrawn prematurely except the special circumstances. The previous 13 different group grounds for withdrawal have now been consolidated into only 3 simple categories: essential, need, housing and special circumstances. First is correct, only one. 84. With reference to the government shutdown in the US governance system and the Indian polity, consider the following statement. A shutdown occurs in the USA when Congress Parliament failed to pass appropriation bills leaving federal agencies without legal authority to spend. Correct. There is no such constitutional situation as a shutdown in India because the failure to pass an appropriation bill here result in the resolution of the government. Correct. During a US shutdown, all essential services such as national security and emergency medical services are also completely shut down. No. So first and second are correct, not the third. 85. With reference to international summit to be held in October 2025 and the geopolitical significance, consider the following statement. The main focus of the APEC Summit 2025 hosted by South Korea is on digital trade and making regional supply chain resilient. Correct. During the Malaysia presidency of ASEAN in 2025, the use of digital integration and an effective code of conduct for the South China Sea has been prioritized. Correct. India is a full membership of both the regional organization. No, India is not a full member of this. So 1 and 2 are correct, not the third. With reference to the market borrowing process of the government of India and the role of Reserve Bank of India, in it, consider the following. The management of treasury bill and dated security issued by the government of India to borrow from the market is conducted by RBI through the Public Debt Office. Correct. Okay. The RBI acting as a merchant bankers for the government, conducting auctions for these securities on the e-Kuber platform. Correct. According to the Indian Constitution, state have unlisted power to borrow directly from the market and do not have. No, third statement is not correct. 1 and 2 are correct. So the B, only 2 statements are correct. 87. With reference to nano liquid urea and the modernization of agriculture in India, consider the following statement. The use of nano urea significantly increased the nitrogen use efficiency of plant compared to traditional granular urea, thereby reducing soil pollution. Correct. Instead of being applied directly to the soil, it is administered through spraying on the leaves of plants, foliar spray, so that nutrients are directly absorbed by the stomata. Correct. The primary objective of the Government of India PM Pranam scheme is to promote the balanced use of chemical fertilizer and encourage the use of alternative fertilizer like nano fertilizer. Correct. So 87, all statements are correct. So the answer is C. With reference to the plan holiday and gaps in the plan in the history of 5 years in India, consider the following. The primary reason for the first 5-year plan holiday were the Indo-China War, Indo-Pak War and severe drought. Yes, correct. The concept of the ruling plan was introduced during the 1917-88 yes Janata Party government by terminating the 6th 5-year plan. Correct. Annual plan were operated during 1992 because India was struggling with acute political instability and a severe economic crisis of balance of payment. Correct. So 1, 2, 3, 88 all are correct. Now, with reference to the interrelationship between inflation and employment, consider the following. According to the flip curve, there is an inverse relation between the rate of inflation and unemployment. Yes, higher the inflation, higher the employment. Inverse relation, correct. Stagflation is an economic condition where high inflation is observed along with high unemployment and steady economic growth. Correct. Narrow, accelerating inflation rate of is that level of unemployment at which inflation remains stable and there is no increase in it. Yes, 89. C, correct. With reference to the banking reforms and the following strengthening of bank in India, consider the following. Based on the recommendation of the Nachiket More Committee, differentiated banks such as payment banks and small finance banks were established in India. correct. The main objective of the Indradhanush Yojana is to improve the functioning of public sector bank, undertake their recapitalization and reduce political interference. Correct. Bad bank is a legal entity that purchase the bad debts of bank and settle them so that the balance sheets of the balance can be cleared. Yes, all 90. C is the answer. Okay. 91. With reference to the proposed legal framework of the Immigration and Foreigner Act 2025 and the regulation of foreigner in India, consider the following. The primary objective of this act is to make digital database and biometric verification mandatory to prevent illegal migrants so that the national security can be strengthened. 91A is correct. Under the new rules, the procedure for penalty and deportation for individual entering in India without valid documents have been made simpler and fast track. Correct. This act limits the power of the foreigner regional registration office and it's bring all registration process directly under the centralized portal of the Ministry of Home Affairs. Incorrect. 1 and 2 are correct, so the 2 pairs are correct. B is the correct. With reference to the mandatory triple test for providing reservation to the other backward class OBC in urban local bodies in India, consider the following. The concept of triple test originated from the judgment delivered by the Supreme Court in the K. Krishnamurthy 2010 and Vikas Kishan Rao Gwali case 2021. Under this test, it is mandatory for the state to constitute a dedicated commission to investigate the nature and implication of the backwardness in local bodies. According to the triple test, the sum total of reserved seats for ST, AC, OBCs should not exceed 50% of the total seats in any situation. Correct. All 3 pairs are correct. With reference to the doctrine of overbreadth, recently in discussion and its contemporary application, consider the following. This doctrine prevents the state from making such laws which exceed the declared objective of reasonable restrictions and encroach upon the fundamental rights of the citizen. Correct. According to the recent judicial interpretation, if terms defining fake news or objectionable content on digital media platform are excessively vague or broad, they can be challenged on the basis of this doctrine. Correct. This doctrine in conjunction with the doctrine of proportionality ensure that there is a logical and balanced relationship between the means and the goals of the state action. Correct. So 93 all are correct. 94. With the reference to the constitutional and legal framework of the National Commission for Minorities, consider the following statement. The National Commission for Minorities is a constitutional body which is mentioned in Article 350B of the Indian Constitution. 6 religious communities notified by the central government, Muslim, Christian, Sikh, Buddhist, and Parsi and Jains are recognized as minorities. Correct. While investigating any matter, the Commission has the power of civil court, which includes summoning witness and discovery of documents. Wrong. So only 2 statements are correct. B is the answer. With reference to the Sir Creek dispute, consider the following. It is a tidal estuary located in the run of Kutch, which is subject of dispute between Gujarat and Sindh. Correct. India support the Thalweg principle for the resolutions of this dispute, which advocate considering the midpoint of the waterway as the boundary. Correct. The mouth of Sir Creek fall into the Arabian Sea and the area is extremely sensitive for the perspective of marine resource and static security. Correct. So 95 all 3 statements are correct. Now question number 96, consider the following with the reference to the NATO pipeline system, consider the following statement. It is an integrated network of pipeline and tanks designed for storage and distribution of petroleum products whose primary objective is to provide military logistics support in the event of war. The largest component of this system is the Central European Pipeline System, which connects 5 countries: Belgium, France, Germany, Luxembourg and Netherlands. This pipeline network is specifically reserved only for military purpose and cannot be used for the civilian requirement of. This is not correct. So 1 and 2 are correct. Repeated numbering with reference to the framework of global governance proposed by China and its related initiative. Consider the following statements. China's global security initiative emphasizes the principle of indivisible security, which opposes the expansion of Western military alliance. Okay, 97, yes, correct. The primary objective of the Global Development Initiative is to integrate the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals with China's Belt and Road Initiative. Correct. The Global Civilization Initiative advocate for civilizational value and the right of each country to choose its own development path in place of universal human right. All three statements are correct. With reference to the Swami Investment Fund, a special window for affordable and mid-income housing, recently in discussion, consider the following statement. It is a category 2nd alternative investment fund established to provide last mile funding to stalled affordable housing projects in the real estate sector. Both the sponsor and the investment manager of this fund is SBI CAF Venture, a wholly owned subsidiary of the State Bank of India. This fund provides assistance only to those projects which have not been declared a stress due to the proceeding of insolvency and bankruptcy code. Okay, so 98, only 2 pairs are correct, 1 and 2, not the 3. With reference to the Galaxy I mission and its legal and technical parameters, recently in discussion, consider the following. It is the world's first satellite constellations which combine both optical and SAR data from a single sensor, so that high resolution image can be obtained in any weather condition. Correct. Okay. This mission is especially aligned with the Indian Space Policy 2023, which promotes the participation of non-governmental entities in the space sector. Atmanirbhar Bharat. Correct. The primary objective of this mission is only to monitor maritime boundaries, while terrestrial and reserve management applications have been kept out of this. Not correct. So 1 and 2 are correct. Okay. So B is the answer. With reference to hydrogen fuel cell technology and its application, consider the following statement. A hydrogen fuel cell is an electrochemical device that generates electricity directly through a chemical reaction between hydrogen and oxygen, in which only water and heat are released as byproduct. Okay, correct. Compared to battery electrical vehicles, the time taken for refueling hydrogen fuel cell is much less. Correct. With the fuel cell, the function of the electrolyte is only to flow electrons from the anode to the cathode, while protons are forced to pass through the outside the circuit. Wrong. So 1 and 2 are correct. So B is the correct answer. So today I have discussed 100 question, and this is the question number 25. And in the next class I will discuss the question that test number 26. Okay, I hope you all have got through these questions. All these questions are very important for a preliminary examination. Okay, so now I am going to bind this class. Thank you and take care.